Hey guys, so today we're going to go over why ultimate driving is just extremely overrated. So first things first, whenever you spawn in, you get a nice little force field for a while because cops will generally just sit right on spawn and they'll wait. If you have a big bounty, they'll just wait on you. So it's a little ridiculous because the cops can just kind of trap you in. And this happens a lot because the cops get XP whenever they arrest you. Then we head over to the garage. We're like, hey, let's go get a car. And as you can see, I don't have very many dollar signs here. And dollar signs mean that there's all the cars in that section you don't own. So typically for me, it's cars that are like there's only one car in that section. Because I own just about everything. Um, I mean, I even own the frickin' Devo for 11.6 million. So I know a fair bit about this game, played this game a fair bit. I feel like my opinion's pretty well rounded here. So this is another thing that's been an issue lately is parked cars just stacking up everywhere. And this becomes very common in old servers. And it just kind of ruins gameplay when people just start putting vehicles everywhere and they don't get rid of themselves. And I understand, like, parking the car is kind of a roleplay factor, but when somebody puts a bus right here, you're kind of screwed. Another real big issue is the most popular game is this one here, Westover. And Westover is just so extremely small. I mean, look, as I go flying down this road here, avoiding everybody, you know, we're gonna get to the end of the road here almost immediately. If I don't get crashed by these random cars like I was talking about. And it just, I mean, I'm only going 230. I have cars that go faster than this that'll eat this map up even quicker. And yeah, I mean, they did expand this map by adding a giant highway, but it's just so small. You just run out of room so quickly. As you can see, there's the end of the map right there already. So most maps, you can go for a solid few minutes before you run into something, or at least for a driving game. And I want to be very specific that this is a driving game, not a racing game, because they've added racing in as an afterthought. They never came in with racing being a primary addition to the game. So for a driving game, it performs well, but this is not racing. Um, and everybody just frequents this highway here in Westover. This is the main deal. And the main reason is because it's the easiest way to rank up is you just come over here to the highway, jump on, and you're going to go from the edge of the map there all the way to the edge of the map way in the distance here. And this is honestly all that people do when they come to this game is they either be a cop and be a jerk, or they sometimes be EMTs. You see that kind of a lot, is people wanting to put out the fires. Which, I mean, it's cool and all that the houses start on fire. It gives the EMTs something to do. That's another thing that needs to be fixed as well, is a house will be on fire for like 2 hours. You'll be in a server and a house will just constantly be on fire because no EMT goes over to fix it. And the fire is honestly so distracting when you're trying to do something like play hide and seek with friends, or even if you're just trying to look for your friends, sometimes they'll be like behind the house and you can't see them because the fire's in the way. So that's the old end of the map right there. This is the extension that everybody thought that made the game just so much better. It makes it better for grinding. If you're trying to farm out level or get money via driving, then yeah, this is great because you can just sit here and go really, really fast for a really long time. But overall, this doesn't add anything to the game other than XP grinding. And so it's just kind of overrated that all people care about in this game is using the highway because it's the only way to level up and get good cars and whatnot. But that doesn't really make it an actually good game. Not to mention, when they build these roads and stuff, they use a plugin. I mean, yes, it's their own plugin, but that kind of creates some jank. And I mean, they go about fixing it, but you can definitely see the car bounces around a lot because it's hitting all these weird bumps. And this can get really messy. If the game starts to lag a bit, you'll hit one of these bumps, go flying, you'll be in the water, and you can't do anything anymore. There's nothing that you can do to reset. Um, People will just jam up this tunnel. So if you're trying to grind out and farm, some idiot with a truck will just park right in the middle of the tunnel. And people also just don't care. Like, here I am going down the oncoming lanes. This is very common. And now you'll see right here, there's a toll booth that ends this section here. And so this section here is called Nantuck, right? And you can see New York, Delaware. So this is ridiculous because there is no border where New York and Delaware connect, but this game prides itself on trying to be as real as possible. So this makes no sense at all. And actually, if you look up the cities of Westover and what else do we got? Westover, Palm Shores, Kensington, Bordenville, Odessa, Newark, Delancey Gorge. So here's the thing. Right here, where you see where this red line turns into yellow, that's where the map ends here. So I don't know why it gives you the whole map, but this is all that you can actually drive on, is this section here. This is Westover. Then Odessa, and so the Odessa map is from this section here to like this section here. And then this is a whole nother map on itself. And the only way to play these other two maps is to completely leave Westover and then go there. Like, they could try to build something where, like, I don't know, right here you teleport, or like, even just make a third game that puts all the maps together. And if people have good enough computers to run it, then they can play it. Like, give us the option. But no, instead we have to just deal with this small portion of map. The car customization's whack, because some cars you can add secondary colors, other cars you can't, even though certain cars definitely have secondary options. But I think it comes down to, and this is just a rumor, but if you do research into it, you kind of notice maybe the rumor could be true. They don't build their own models. They don't source these from like somebody that they pay for these for. The rumor is that they get them from a website called gamemodels.ru. The RU on the end means it's a Russian website, and if you go there, Google will ask if you want to translate the page because it'll all be in Russian. So this Devo just came out 2 days ago, I think now. It's the 24th of November right now. If you look on gamemodels.ru, this car was uploaded to gamemodels.ru on November 15th. Interesting how suddenly this car becomes available in game right after it got put out. And so where do cars from gamemodels.ru come from? Well, if this Devo is from gamemodels.ru, it's from CSR2, the phone game, the phone drag racing game. So why would that be a problem? You see now, on gamemodels.ru, it very expressly says that these car models on gamemodels.ru are just for, quote, informational purposes. So what that's supposed to mean is either you will download the file because maybe you're trying to make a mod for the actual game. So maybe on CSR2, you're trying to create a paint scheme, for example. And you'll import it into your phone, and if you do enough magic, you can actually get it to show up on your phone. Nobody else will see the paint scheme, but you will, so maybe you just have fun doing that. Or you download the model, you kind of look at it, and then that way you can kind of get a gist of what the Devo should look like without having to go get like real life photos and trying to make it from that. So, for people that can't really afford to be able to just have a Devo sitting there in front of them to make a Devo from, that could be really helpful. However, you're not supposed to just take the model and then put it into a game and then make hundreds of thousands of dollars from it. So this could get them in trouble soon. Very, very soon. We all remember what happened to Pokemon Brick Bronze. This could be coming. As well, see, these houses will be on fire for literally forever. There's no EMTs. This is going to be on fire forever. And it's just, everything about this game is very lackluster. I mean, your headlights, they're just regular like Roblox lights, which don't actually keep up fast enough. This isn't a UD problem, this is a Roblox problem, but still, yeah, I would expect them to maybe try to do something better than this. Literally every car goes faster than this. Another big thing that I found out a long time ago, when I used to be grinding really, really hard, is so when you use um, the cruise control option. So if I would stick it about 60, 61 miles per hour, and I would have the car just sitting here, and on my screen it would say, +1 mile, and give me my cash and my XP, I would wait a whole minute going at only 60 miles per hour, and I wouldn't get another mile. I wouldn't get another mile until about a minute and a half. So their scaling's even wrong, because apparently you don't even get your money at a mile per minute when you're going 60 miles per hour. Um, some other big issues I have with the game is things like getting pointless bounty just because you're driving through a city really fast. You get hit by a speed camera, your bounty just goes flying high. Sometimes latency can be a big issue in this game, and you get stuck on pretty much everything. These cars sit so low to the ground. Um, tow truck operators can be a complete troll. I mean, there's just so much about this game that, yeah, sure, I guess it gives a roleplay aspect or whatever, but it's mainly just used by trolls to mess with people. Um, as well, the racing mode, when that first came out, that used to be a big deal, oh, racing in this game. That for years, whenever you brought up racing on their Discord, they would say, this isn't a racing game, we'll never add racing, this is about roleplay. Well, apparently they saw Vehicle Sims numbers and they needed to compete, so they added racing. The racing is even lackluster as well. It's this basic point-to-point system. So you can see the circle right there. So what you do is you drive up to the circles, and when you're at the circle, you stop in it, press E to start a race somewhere, and then you pick wherever you want to go. So we'll just do South Beach. If somebody else was in the circle, I could invite them to do the race with me. But the races are so lackluster because they're these tiny point-to-points across these crappy highways where it's basically just whoever has the faster car wins. And even when two people have the same car, it's whoever's car doesn't get wrecked by the other person because of latency. And it's not their fault about the latency issue because it's more Roblox ended. As somebody who has their own racing game, I know this is an issue, but still, this racing is extremely lackluster, has nothing about talent, it's just about your car. And as somebody who always owns a fast car, I know that. That's why the majority of my friends and I, we don't do races here. We might go play hide and seek, or sometimes we'll just play cops and robbers for fun. A few of us will be in fast cars as robbers, and we'll have people that have the cop pass, because that's another thing in this game is every single job requires a game pass for, I think, transit. So if you wanted to be a cop for a day, yeah, spend some money. I mean, you can see just racing along here. I should have taken the shortcut, but I mean, at least one of the cool things is you can race actually for so new high score. That's actually a world record right now. Probably because nobody in their right mind with the Devo runs anything other than the highway. Because if you own the Devo, either you bought money like I did, or you went out there and you farmed your ass off. And now that you have the Devo, you're farming your ass off again to buy other cars. So, yeah, good luck with that. So that brings me to my point. The map here, absolute garbage. Westover, trash. The car models, possibly stolen. Majority of the game's features, extremely lackluster. So what has this game ever done right? Well, nothing under 22 Pilots' efforts. Um, all the 22 Pilots games I hate, honestly, with a passion. Westover sucks. Odessa sucks. Delancey Gorge sucks. So, there is at least one thing that Ultimate Driving has done right, that I will actually agree with and I will actually play somewhat regularly. And now that it's come out, me and my friends will play it so much more than we'll ever play Westover. And the thing that I will play is Index 15's take on Ultimate Driving. Now, that being said, I'm actually kind of curious about how this works. So, when people come to Index 15's game and they purchase one of these jobs, you'll actually notice that your game passes from Westover will actually transfer over to Index 15's game. So, when you look at it, the game passes, when you purchase them here, are actually being purchased from Westover. So I wonder if Index 15 even gets any of that profit. I wonder how that all goes. And then I wonder how the credit store works as well. I'm assuming Index 15 keeps all this credit, which kind of makes me wish I would have bought more credits with Index 15 rather than on 22's, because his maps are just so much more incredible. So this is Monroe, and you can see it has a few more towns scattered throughout, but when we take a drive down through it, it's just so much nicer. And the vehicle garage, he made his own vehicle garage here in Monroe, and Monroe just newly released, and it's beautiful. So much more detailed. It's always wild to me that they always keep using this garage that has brick cars in it. I guess it's trying to nod to the old game that used to have brick cars in it, but I don't know. I expect them by now to maybe get past that, put some mesh cars in. But you can see we spawned in Waxhaw, all the way down in the bottom left corner here. And just look how much nicer it is. He has railroad tracks. He's got these nice parking spots here. We got these lights, grass, and these fences and these trees. And yeah, the trees kind of bug out, but I don't even care. Like, it's just beautiful here. He's even got his own type of gas stations in this game, and the body shop isn't directly attached to the garage like they do in Westover, which I think is kind of neat. I'm sure it's going to throw a lot of people off and people aren't going to like it, but he's got these stores. You gotta always test these stores, though. I've noticed an issue with Index is he hasn't made the stores collidable sometimes, so you can drive straight through them, but other than that, the game is beautiful compared to Westover, and the map's just so much larger, too. You can just tell when you go to drive on some of these roads, they take so much longer to get from point to point, and who knows, maybe it's just because you're being slow, because you can't just go flat out across all these maps in the same way that you can at Westover. But I enjoy that aspect so much more, and even though this map's so new, like, I already have a decent feel on it. We haven't played a lot, me and my friends on here, but I've got a sense of direction, and then we get into Monroe proper here. And I really like this. So this outer area you can see is kind of more of a suburb, like neighborhood feel. And then all of a sudden you get into the actual city part. And so we got like this trailer yard and this building here, and we got a bank. Got parking lots everywhere. I'm going down a wrong way on a one-way. Got these beautiful buildings that have these lights, and he has this like artwork that's out on the walls, and you can't see it too much because we're at nighttime. But you can see he kind of made it transparent in a way, so that way you can see the brick through it, and it's just his attention to detail here in Monroe. That it's a work of art. It's just more fun, and it's more enjoyable to be here. And I love this city grid aspect. It's something that has been lacking in all the UD games, and it's something that's really been needed, is having an actual city. The only thing the Index needs to work on is making sure everything is collidable. Because, like the fountain here, when you play hide and seek, I'm hidden. So, that's definitely something to work on. There's just attention to detail all around. I mean, there's also some railroad tracks down here. And, I mean, there's some issues here and there, but, and you can get really easily stuck on these. But you can see there's a rail yard out here. All the railroads all coming together at once, and you got these houses out here as well, kind of like dumpy houses next to this rail house. And it's just, this is what we've been needing in UD. This I would say is better than Vehicle Sim. Westover, 100% behind Vehicle Sim. Um, I mean, Vehicle Sim has a lot going for it over this, but this is what's going to keep me playing UD, is this map right here. Now, another big issue I kind of have is this hospital is the same hospital used in literally every UD game. Other than, I think Odessa has a different one, but they use the same waiting room a lot. And just work on that, please. But even this gas station is like this really big gas station. That's something new. Like usually the gas station is very copy paste in all the UD games, and it's not here. And something I'm loving is actually being able to be like, yeah, I'm at this gas station rather than the others. And I mean, I guess you could call it out based on the city. You could be like, I'm at the gas station in this city, but it's just nicer to be able to just call out the brand name and people know. Um, Another big thing is, so here we got this more commercial district, and this model actually used to be in Currituck, and it's kind of like a chicken shop, kind of like a KFC, like a fast food, maybe a Chick-fil-A, and they actually finally fixed it. That brick right there would actually always fall off the building, but this is the only issue that Index has is if you just kind of truck yourself up the curb, you'll go right through the building. So something that needs to be fixed, needs to be addressed. This building does it as well. And also, if you fall down into this river here, um, usually whenever you hit water in UD, you go straight through the water, and then you just have to kill yourself at that point because you're not going to survive. Here, you can actually drive on this water, and you can actually go into this brick over here if you like do it from like a weird angle back there. But you just see how much more expansive this map is. It gives a lot more meaning to the game. Got another residential district over here. And the big thing is I would like to see the servers here have more players in them. Like take the limit off a little bit, because I think it's the same limit as Westover, but the map here is so much bigger. There's so much more space. This could use more players in the game at one time. You got this nice little highway interchange here, and when you drive all the way down here, you go into this other area with these other type of trees and more commercial over there. And there's a gas station that's very reminiscent of all the other gas stations in UD before, this pit stop place. And once again, you end up having a garage with a body shop next to it, but for the most part, he tries not to do this in Monroe, and I really like that. The only thing I would say that could improve Monroe specifically immensely is selling the storefronts. I don't know exactly what people would want to be putting in there, but I know for myself, I would do clothing, like a clothing store in here. I've traditionally had clothing stores that I've made get put into games, and I think he could make a lot of money on it, and it would make the place look a lot better, because, you'd have actual shops, and people would have more to do, because they could go to the shops and see what's new, and at the end of the day, it would be a lot of upkeep for them, but if he makes the right system for it, people could even, make a model that auto-updates in the game, and there's a lot that can be done here. So, that's where we're at now. I've heard through the grapevine that UD plans to do a lot more customization updates soon. I mean, they have been doing some more customization updates with actually having secondary colors on cars, because before they used to not even have them at all, and now they at least have them on some cars. But yeah, for the long haul here, I think this is gonna be my new home for UD, not Westover. And I suggest many of you play this one over Westover as well. Thanks for watching.